Today we're taking a look at these NBA matches, which are happening on Monday, October 31st, 2022, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe and push that notification bell to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos. And if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. Multiple plans are available for each and every one of you. By becoming a member of the High Stakes Patreon, you will have access to our best team picks, total picks, parlay picks and much more. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting predictions that ends up costing you a lot of time and money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Milwaukee Bucks vs Detroit Pistons. The Milwaukee Bucks, after losing in the second round of the NBA playoffs last year, seem like they are on a mission this year. They are 5-0 on the season and have the best record in the NBA. And that is without All-Star Chris Middleton, who won't be back until sometime in November. The Bucks kept it rolling Saturday night with a 123-115 win over the Atlanta Hawks at home as a 5.5-point favorite. The Bucks will lose at some point, maybe even this week, but they won't lose on Monday night to the Pistons. Detroit is really in a tough spot here, having scored a huge win over Golden State Sunday night and then having to travel to face maybe the best team in the NBA right now. The spread here is pretty wide, but it's justified as the rested Bucks, who had a true day off as they played at home Saturday, will easily take care of business here. The Pistons are young and improving and will keep this close, but the Bucks will pull away. Take Milwaukee to cover the spread. Take the Milwaukee minus 12.5 points. The defense has been a struggle for the Pistons this year. They are allowing the third most points per game, as opposing offenses are scoring an average of 122 points per game. The Bucks will be able to score with ease against this young team. The over has hit in 5 of Milwaukee's first 6 games. The over is 13-3 in Bucks' last 16 games versus a team with a winning percent below .400. Take the over on Monday night. Utah Jazz vs Memphis Grizzlies. The Jazz comes into this contest 13th in the league in scoring offense, with 117 points per game this season. Utah is 13th in rebounding by pulling down 45 boards per night while standing 4th by dishing out 28.6 assists a night. The Jazz are 18th in the league in scoring defense, as they allow 114.9 points per contest. Lauri Markkanen leads the Jazz as he puts up 21.4 points plus 9 rebounds per contest. Jordan Clarkson, 17.3 points, 5 assists, Kelly Olynyk, 13.7 points, Colin Sexton, 12.1 points, Mike Conley, 11 points, 7.3 assists, and Malik Beasley, 11 points, are capable scoring options. Jared Vanderbilt, Rudy Gay, Walker Kessler, Talen Horton-Tucker, Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Ochai Agbaji are important pieces for coach Will Hardy. Utah is shooting 45.8% from the field, which is 20th in the league in field goal percentage. The Jazz knock down an average of 14.6 triples per game, which is 3rd in the league, and stand 17th in three-point field goal percentage by knocking down 35.7% of their attempts from beyond the arc. Utah has been better than expected in the first couple weeks of the season, but the fact remains that they have work to do in order to exceed expectations over the course of the year. The Jazz have an odd collection of pieces in their rotation, and they lack a definitive go-to scorer on the offensive end, something they had in previous seasons with Donovan Mitchell. Memphis hung in until the bitter end Saturday without Morant, who should be back for this contest. He's such a dynamic force on both ends of the floor and makes things difficult for opposing teams as far as guarding him. The Grizzlies were right in the game without him Saturday night. With him in the mix, you have to give the upper hand to the Grizzlies in this contest to split the 2-game series. Memphis's defense hasn't been up to par, though, as the Grizzlies rank 27th in points allowed per game, 121.5, 24th in opponent field goal percentage, 48.3%, and opponent three-point percentage, 36.9%. The Grizz will have to do a better job competing on defense in Monday's rematch versus Utah, as they surrendered 19 three-pointers on 43% shooting in Saturday's loss, including 3 in the final 2:30. Saturday's matchup between these squads went over despite a slew of absences from both teams. It was Utah that missed the most contributors, but the Jazz outscored the Grizzlies anyway. I wouldn't expect that to happen again, as Utah went back and forth with an explosive Memphis offense that can count on multiple scorers to pour in 20 or 30 points on any given night. While Memphis's 117.5 adjusted offensive ranking is just a tick behind Boston and New Orleans' league-leading 117.9 mark, Utah is 19th overall, with an average of 111.4 per dunks and threes. I will be shocked if the Jazz knock down 19 three-pointers again as they did in Saturday's matchup. The final score in that game was 21.5 points over the total. Bet the under in Game 2 on Monday night. Clippers vs Houston Rockets. Sunday's games have been excluded from the analysis, and the 1-5 Houston Rockets were looking to snap a two-game skid in a tough road matchup against the Phoenix Suns. Last Wednesday, the Rockets started a four-game road trip with a 109-101 defeat at the Utah Jazz. A couple of days later, they suffered a 125-111 defeat at the Portland Trail Blazers, who missed Damian Lillard due to a calf injury. The Clippers are allowing 109.9 points per 100 possessions, tied 8th in the NBA, on 43.0% shooting from the field, 3rd, and 31.1% from beyond the arc, also 3rd. They are tallying just 103.6 points in a return, 29th, while making 47.3% of their field goals, tied 14th, and 32.4% of their three-pointers, 27th. Both teams will have to deal with fatigue on the second day of a back-to-back, and the Clippers arguably have more depth than the Rockets. With Kawhi Leonard available for this game, I'm expecting the Clippers to bounce back and cover in a winning effort against the Rockets. LA will get things going against the Rockets' shaky defense, and the Clippers desperately need to improve their offensive execution. Keep your eyes on Ivica Zubac, who's recorded a couple of double-doubles against Oklahoma City, racking up 22 points and 32 rebounds across 2 games. Last season, Zubac averaged 16.3 points and 12.3 boards in a 3-game series against Houston. Take the Los Angeles Clippers ATS. The Rockets are still rebuilding, and Houston's roster is very young. Still, even though Houston's offense has kept them competitive in most games, this team continues to struggle on the defensive side of the ball. The Rockets are undersized, and Houston's interior and perimeter defense has been very bad to start the season. Houston ranks 23rd in total defense, giving up 118.8 points per game on 49% shooting from the field. This team will have to improve significantly defensively to have any chance to have a respectable season. The Clippers started the season strong, with 2 wins against the Kings and Lakers. Los Angeles has lost 3 straight games since the team's 2-0 start though. The Clippers were blown out by the Suns 112-95 and then lost a 2 straight to a bad Oklahoma City Thunder team. Los Angeles was destroyed by the Thunder in the 4th quarter in their last loss. The Clippers have multiple players in and out of the lineups since the team is limiting the minutes and games that players such as Kawhi Leonard and John Wall are playing. The Clippers' leading scorer is Paul George, who is averaging 20.2 points per game. George has been dealing with an illness, and he struggled against the Thunder in the Clippers' last loss. Ivica Zubac has looked good this year, and he is the team's leading rebounder, averaging 13 rebounds per game. John Wall is leading the team in assists, averaging 4.2 assists per game in limited minutes. Houston likes to play fast, and the Rockets come into this game with a 23rd ranked defense in the NBA, allowing their opponents to shoot 49% from the field. Houston has no interior defense, and this team's lack of size and bad perimeter defense is keeping them from winning games, even when Rockets' offense has been solid. Houston is scoring. The Rockets have scored at least 107 points in 4 of their first 6 games, but the team's defensive issues are too much for them to overcome. The Rockets have talent, but their team is very young, and Houston will have to improve significantly on the defensive end if they want to have any chance at having a respectable record this season. The Clippers' offense has been fine to start the year. The team has at times had issues defensively with multiple players in and out of the lineup. The Clippers like to play fast as well, and Los Angeles often plays smaller lineups that push the pace when their starting center Ivica Zubac is on the bench. This should be a higher scoring game. Take the over, 224.5.